This is a funny thing, you know. This is typically very Indian, I would say. We people have a lot of issues in being direct to people because we have been trained like that. It's not anything wrong. घर में अगर जब मैं बच्चा था, किसी से if you talk a little harsh or tell somebody the truth, you know, hey, somebody has squandered money, and you tell him on his face, hey, you have squandered money, that's why you're poor. ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए. You should be respectful for that person. You know, ऐसे थोड़ी बात करते हैं बड़ों से. You're constantly you're bombarded with that into your head. People keep telling you, don't do that, don't do this, you have to talk soft to somebody, you should not, बड़े हैं तो ऐसे थोड़ी बात करते हैं. So that has got into our head, and slowly but surely resulted in us starting to think that making profits, किसी से ज़्यादा पैसा लेना is all bad. No. So maybe, you know, some of my teachers might probably not say that I should be saying that here, but I'm telling you from a very practical perspective. Profit is not a dirty word. If there are no profits, there are no great salaries for employees. There are no donations to people. There are no charities happening. There is nothing happening if a company is not profitable, and being extremely profitable, if possible. So somebody says, you know, Google, the guy in Google wrote probably 1 or 2 codes which could search the world, and he is now a $25 billion company. एक code के लिए 25 billion? That's not fair. Why? It is fair. There's nothing like that. No, we have that ingrained in ourselves that we should probably not do it that way. There's nothing wrong in that, as long as you're winning with integrity. Don't screw somebody's happiness. Don't hit somebody below the belt. Don't do things the wrong way. If you're doing it the right way, and if you are having a sense of integrity in you, there's no harm in making money the right way. There's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing wrong in negotiating a great salary. There is nothing wrong in making good money, provided you are doing it the right way. You don't fudge on your resumes. You don't do anything wrong. Make good money. There is no harm in it. You know, that's another thing. When you become an entrepreneur, when you choose to become an entrepreneur, you could run it in 2 ways. One is a very consultant kind of approach, where you are the central piece of the system, okay? And it's your knowledge, and you have 5 or 6 assistants who run around and who consult on your behalf. There's great money in that. That's also an entrepreneur. But that's not evolved into a company that can probably become 20,000 people. That does not become a Dell. It becomes an ABC consultancy or ABC consulting. It does not evolve into a full-fledged company where, you know, the whole thing is run by a board, a company, and things like that. That's also an entrepreneurship. I would not say there is anything wrong in that. But again, the only issue there is, you know, it doesn't scale. You have a lot of money. Probably those people have more money than a normal entrepreneur. But that's also great money. This is another thing, you know. When you have reviews with employees, when you talk to people, you know, and tell them, you know, you are not doing good, we have an inherent challenge telling them you're fired. You're not doing good here. You probably can do somewhere else better. You should be leaving the company. A lot of times, entrepreneurs make the mistake of latching onto people because their conscience does not allow them to fire. It is not good for the entrepreneur, neither is it good for the person who is sitting on the other end, because he could probably do a much better job in another company, and you are holding him back by saving his job. And that brings me to that point where, you know, you say, don't let the ship sink because of one sailor. A couple of guys may be bad or might not be helping the system succeed. They may not be leaders. They are not good followers. They are people who stand in the way. Get rid of them. In a nice way, of course. But don't let them sink the ship that you are running. So a lot of people joined me when I started off as my employees. Some of them had code of conduct violations. Some of them had issues. I had to let them go. I can't suddenly start thinking, oh, Raghav or somebody was there right from the beginning of this company. I should not be doing that to him. No. So sometimes you come across as a ruthless person. Sometimes you come across as somebody who's too direct. That's okay. Somebody has to do the dirty job, right? Then this is something that I remember Menon sir talking about, this MBWA a long time back, 20 years back probably. It's management by walking around. And I've changed it a little bit, management by wandering around. You don't manage the company sitting inside your office. Please don't do that when you become entrepreneurs. You have to not walk around in your company, you have to wander around in your company, aimlessly among your people. Only then you will come to know what is working and what is not. And then, the most important thing, guys, and I probably have put it in the end though, but it's the most important thing, pay forward to people. There is something called a favor bank. You do not know if somebody who is asking you for help today is ever going to help you tomorrow. Pay him forward. Build a favor bank for you. Somebody who is asking you for help today, or somebody, especially in a sales guy's job, like my job, there's a big concept, I don't know how many of you will believe it, called karma or cosmic. I have helped so many sales guys succeed, and probably that's why I am able to sell. So somebody connects me somewhere, I connect somebody somewhere, I help somebody out in some situation even without being asked for help, and my favor bank always is in the positive. I try and keep it in the positive. So A helps B, B may not be able to help A, but C would help A because B and C might be linked to each other. You do not know. So please don't hold back favors. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about if somebody asks you for a contribution of 1 lakh rupees, I'll say there is not enough money in this world to solve everybody's problem. That's my reaction, typically. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about actual favors, where you can help somebody succeed, where you can help somebody build his career, where you can help somebody with a recommendation, if he's good, of course. They all come back to you in a very positive way. So try and build your favor bank to the maximum. Pay people forward, it's no harm. There's nothing you're going to lose because of that. Okay, so now there's a lot of people talk about a lot of things about how entrepreneurs can be successful and stuff like that. I have a 3-word mantra. God damn it, don't do anything else. Sell. Come what may, freaking sell, guys, sell. Whatever your solution is, sell. Once you sell it, make sure you deliver. And once you deliver, hook or crook, make sure you get paid for it. You haunt him, you go to his house, whatever it is, you get paid for it. Most of us fail. Most companies in this world who are starting off as a company fail because they probably do sales okay, they deliver kind of okay, but they don't collect. Any of these things fail. Any of these things fail, there is no company. And I'm not for one bit demeaning any other function in a company. Guys, please don't take it that way. I'm not for one bit saying that there are functions which are not directly related to this and they are not good functions. No, every function is some way or the other related to sales, delivery, and collection. Be it HR, be it finance, be it anything. Some way or the other, you are related to sales, delivery, and collections. And that funny little word there, P-O-W, I don't know what, it's not a word, P-O-W-Y-C-D-D-W-Y-P, is again an important thing for entrepreneurs. Or not just for entrepreneurs, everybody in life, guys. Promise only what you can deliver, and deliver whatever you promise. So before you make your promise, please think if you can actually deliver that. And you make your promise only if you can deliver it. And now, if you have made your promise, आंधी आ गई, तूफान आ गया, कुछ भी हो गया, you have to deliver. And market conditions have changed, sir. This is not working, sir. All that is secondary then. You should have thought about it when you made your promise. because that is the only way you can build your reputation. So this is something that I personally believe in a lot. Stay healthy, guys. And when I say healthy, it's not just about having dole shole. That's, of course, a form of health. You eat well, you sleep well. Even if it's for 4 hours, you sleep well. You know, I don't know who said this. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger probably said that. I need only 4 hours of sleep because I sleep very fast. No, whatever I do fast, I need lesser time, right? So I need only 4 hours. I sleep at 2 and get up at 6 because I can manage that because I sleep very fast. So stay healthy on all fronts. Your personal life, with your family, with your kids, with your parents, with your wife, with whoever is in your life. On your personal front, on your family, with your friends, in your business. So business is what I talked about a lot here today. With your employees. And last but not the least, a lot of you kids and a lot of my friends who I have still in my life, most of the time they consider themselves to be victims. They start thinking, "Ye mere saath hi kyun hua re? Oh, why the fish did this happen only to me?" Menacer is there again, so I'm so sorry. No, there was a time when there was a quiz or something, long time back, right? Remember, sir? Yeah. So I was the non-performing asset in that quiz. My team won the quiz, though I didn't have even one answer for that. I was the non-performing asset. And in that, the only thing I used to say, quite a few times, is by mistake, shit, I knew the answer. So Menacer used to tell me, don't say shit, say sugar, say sugar. Okay, so I'm controlling those words, but what I'm trying to tell you is, guys, don't ever start imagining that you have ended up with the shorter side of the stick in life. Don't start thinking, oh, why did I end up with this? Why is my son this way? Why is my wife that way? Why is my boyfriend this way? Why am I having this problem in life? I don't think anybody else is having a problem in this life. Why am I going bankrupt? Why on earth I'm not making enough money? These are all, why am I not good looking, right? Okay. Oh, I am a very good looking, whatever. So, whatever that is, don't start thinking of yourself as a victim ever in life. Because the moment you start thinking of yourself as a victim, you have already lost the race. You have already lost the race. Don't think of yourself as a victim. And for heaven's sake, whatever you're doing, have fun. Even if it's walking from here to there, you probably might want to dance and go, And in my IPA days, you can ask any of my professors who are sitting here, I had a lot of fun. I had a humongous amount of fun. I still continue to have fun. In fact, today in our office, we are celebrating the July 4th. There is a mela going on. Kids are having a lot of fun. But since it is IPE, I came today here. Otherwise, I would not have. So, for heaven's sake, whatever you're doing, have fun. Because, what you're losing today is time. What you're losing today is your age. What you're losing today is the ability in your mind to have fun. So do that. Make sure you're having fun, but at the same time, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. I think that's what my slides are all about. Yeah, that's it. That's a brief about the company, where we started, what we did, and everything else. I'll probably stand here for a bit to answer some questions, if you have any. I'm happy to take on questions, and I can try and answer them as much as possible with my whatever little I know about what I've done.
Sir, my name is Tushit. Yeah. Sir, I wanted to ask you, sir, already old man, if you didn't order 47, I like it that way. Take off, sir. Thanks. Thank you, sir. I wanted to ask that being an entrepreneur, you have to take certain decisions. So, you always So is it always on data which are provided, or it is sometimes on instinct?
Sometimes, yeah, almost every time on instinct. Good question. So, as an entrepreneur, okay, so as an entrepreneur, this question is Dushan. This question is, as an entrepreneur, you have to constantly keep making decisions. And Are these decisions based mostly on data, or are these based on intuitions and stuff like that? Okay, so data serves as a great tool when you are assessing something. So when you want to know, are you in red or black? How much revenue are you making? How healthy is the operations? How much you should pay out to somebody, looking at his previous salary slip? How much you should spend on tech? How much you should spend on other things? How much you should spend on fun? All these things you can probably have data as your guiding factor. But decisions about who should come in as an investor, who should you hire, who should you make your CTO, such important type decisions are very little based on data. They're based on your gut. So you have a feeling that comes from you, inside you, that tells you, you sleep over it, you have this feeling that tells you, this is the right decision to make. Go for it. But if it is a sales call, for instance, you're telling about profit and loss, and of course it is data. But anything to do with humans, anything to do with partnerships, anything to do with growth and things like that, go with your instinct, go with your gut. It is 99% of the time it is right. And of course, try and have, if possible, a nice bouncing board with you. In my case, it's my partner and wife, Padma. So she in fact is the CFO and the admin head and the finance head and the HR head and everything in the company. I take care of all the money that comes in. I'm responsible for, if possible, millions to come in, and she's responsible for whatever millions that go out. So that's the way we have divided work. So try and have a bouncing board with somebody who is more often than not mostly against whatever you decide. You get my point? It's not somebody who haan mein haan milane ki banda nahi. If two men in the same room think for everything the same, I tell you, freaking shoot one man. There is only need for one man. Two people in the room for everything decide on the same. All the time they are in sync with each other. Please shoot one of them. There is no use. Somebody who's constantly a person who tells you that you are doing wrong, this is not the right way of doing it, such kind of a person is very important in making decisions. Those people help you a lot in your life. To ask me. It could be a friend, it could be a partner, it could be anybody. Fair? I don't know if I've answered your question, but I think that is the answer. Anything else, guys? Yeah. वहां से तो सुनाई भी नहीं देगा. Okay, wait. I'm back to that question. Okay, what's my diet is this question? That's not a question.
Yeah, I could see your budget from there, so.
Yeah. Wait till I. Just kidding. Okay, so what's my diet is a question. It's a very interesting thing. I have a very, very heavy breakfast, and that breakfast is nothing but kal ka bacha hua khana. So whatever remains from the dinner, which typically in Malus, so eat a lot of that brown rice, big fat rice, and we obviously eat a lot of meat and stuff like that. So whatever remains from the dinner, I cook a lot. By the way, I stay at home quite a bit. Once in a while, at least 2-3 days in a week, I kind of work from home. So I love to cook. I cook a lot myself. My wife also cooks. Not as much as I cook though. Okay. So whatever remains at home in the evening for dinner, which we obviously cook a little extra because we know that tomorrow morning I would be eating that. The next day morning I would be eating that. I eat a lot of those things, which is basically brown rice, meat. Whatever you guys probably have in the entire day, I have it for breakfast. And then if possible, if I get a chance to have lunch, I have lunch also on some days. But if I don't get a chance, it is okay because I've already had my breakfast. And then I work out, obviously. I work out quite a bit. Work out quite a bit in the sense about 20 minutes, 30 minutes I work out. what they typically call that high intense, high impact training. So I have my kettlebells and stuff like that. I have a small gym kind of thing at home. So I work out. And that's my diet and that's my regime in the morning.
So home food, no outside food, right?
Sorry?
Only home food, no outside food, right?
Oh, come on. In Hyderabad, I'm here because of the biryanis, man. Who doesn't eat outside food? So morning breakfast is what I finish. So otherwise, whenever I have lunch, I have a good lunch. I probably have it mostly at, I don't know how many of you guys know Meridian Biryani? Meridian, you have heard of Meridian? So Meridian Biryani. A jumbo pack is not very difficult for me. Menon sir has also bought me biryani, by the way, many times. Then I eat whenever I get a chance to eat. I eat quite well. I eat a lot. I don't drink. I don't booze. I don't smoke. So those are the things that I don't do. That's because, you know, I take care of my health. I go out, I eat well. I eat a lot. I eat a lot from outside. Like, mornings I try to come out early because I show my son drinks. He loves drinks, so I got him along. I mentioned this now, I should show him drinks and then I take this. So we eat anything at home. We go out very early, like 8:15 kinds. So I ate something from the roadside only. So I eat a lot of those foods also.
Thank you so much. My second question is that,
Yeah, I forgot the second question.
yeah, how does spirituality helps you in your difficult times? Spirituality, like whatever, the dharma or karma.
It's quite important, guys. You know, I do not know how much it helps each of us, but I think it helps each person in a different way. It helps me a lot because of the simple reason that there are a lot of other things that happen in life which are probably out of your control. Things like, you know, my son doesn't go to school, so he's with me or with my wife all the time because he's autistic. So these are things beyond my control. So I think spirituality helps. Spirituality helps in terms of a lot of other things. You know, you need something beyond you. Otherwise, you start thinking that you are the end of everything. You are somebody who is like, you know, beat and all and things like that. That's not the truth. You need to know there is something beyond you, above you, whatever it is. It could be any god, anybody who you need to consider somebody your boss, right? An entrepreneur always has this feeling that he's not got to answer to anybody, which is a very dangerous situation to be in. So there is something called, probably you can call it God, you can call it anything, but I think there is somebody that you got to answer to, and do what is right for what is your karma is what you should be doing. So anytime that I am in doubt about firing somebody who is very close to me, and on spirituality lines I'm saying that I don't know how much you guys are bored. So I think about, say, probably Lord Rama, who followed what was supposedly good for the country. So I will follow what is good for my company, even if it means I have to let go of my favorite employee. So that's spirituality probably. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to know?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. So, wow, don't do that, boss.
No, don't worry. See, Sanju, one of my dreams is to see more and more students of IPE write articles in journals. I know for a fact that immediately after you finished your MBA over here or during that program, you had written several articles in a magazine called Swagat, which is an in-flight magazine of Indian Airlines. Could you tell our kids over here what they need to do in order to go about writing an article? Thank you.
Okay, okay. So that's a very interesting thing to say because when immediately after I passed out of IPE, in fact, the college was very lenient to me because I got placed at least 3 or 4 months before the exams. Then they allowed me to go to the office, work during those 4 months and come back for the exams and appear for the exams and pass the exams. Rajnath sir, there was a lot of other, all of you there. So that's very kind because I was able to do that. So I got a job quicker than a lot of other kids got. So February 10th or something I joined, and exams happen in June, right? So I was already having a job by the time the exams started. So I picked on that corporate discipline or that life very early on, because while I used to come back from that place, from the office, I used to see my my friends in the cafeteria who are still having the same life of the college. But in your mind you have changed. In your mind things have changed, altered drastically in your mind, because when you see them, that's not the way the world outside is. Even the 2 months or 3 months of experience actually puts a different knob inside your head, guys. So I got this opportunity at that time to write for a magazine called Swagat, and I wrote for 1 year, and I was paid in those days itself. For every word I wrote 1 rupee. Yeah, so I used to write 3,000 words every issue, every month once, and I used to get 3,000 rupees extra for that. So I was writing that while I was working with Intelli Group, and they were also happy because Sanju Pillai, Market.com, Intelli Group, .com and all used to come. So they were very happy about it. The company was happy about it. My college, and anybody like surrounded when they're traveling, they used to pick this magazine and tell me, hey, it's reading good. So guys, the trick about writing is, if you have to write 1 page, you have to read 100 pages. If you ask me in 1 sentence, how do you write 1 page? You have to read 100 pages. If you can read 100 pages, anybody can write 1 page. The trick is about reading that 100 pages. Slowly but surely, it comes to a place where you can start writing even after reading 30 pages, over a period of time. Over a period of couple of years, you can start writing even after reading 30 pages, and I don't think it comes down lesser than that, but probably for people like J.K. Rowling, people who have a very different kind of a wiring, they don't read anything, they can just write. But for normal mortals, and that's where I stand, I think reading is a very important thing. You guys have to read a lot, and don't restrict yourself to reading your own textbooks, notebooks, because you're very young. Read things that are beyond it. Read things that are not your textbooks and notebooks. Because anyway, textbook and notebooks, I'm sure your professors will help you pass. I don't think they want any of you to fail. They will help you pass. But the other side of it, you should read beyond your textbooks. Read a lot of flat things, which is not a part of what you are actually supposed to read. That helps a lot in writing, and then slowly but surely you'll get an opportunity. You have to keep publishing at quite a few places without getting paid. That's the first step again. So you have to publish. Nowadays I don't get time to write, that's the only reason I don't write. But after Swagat I wrote for Indian Express for a while, but then after that life took on. I had people to manage and things like that, and then I didn't write for whatever reason. But a couple of articles initially you should write to catch attention. So in those days, Indrajit Bidwar or somebody was his name. He was a Sagat editor-in-chief. So he caught one of the articles that I wrote in Indian Express or something, and that's where it all started. So some things you have to write, because content is needed by everybody, guys, especially in today's world. Technology, everything runs on content, be it video, be it text, be it whatever, everything is content, because so much of portals, so many people trying to publish things, not having anybody's attention. So good articles always are important, and people need content. So try and push and see if you can get published somewhere, and if you can get published 1 or 2 places, start off with LinkedIn maybe. If you can get published in a couple of places, slowly but surely you can get published where you get paid also. So to answer my answer in a single line, try and read 100 pages, and you will write 1 page very beautifully. There's no doubt about it.
You said you had a good, decent job, and entrepreneurship was thrust upon you. So when you had a good, decent job, how did the idea of your own company, when did it start?
I told that right in the beginning. Marriage has a lot of pains, celibacy has no pleasures. So, Chip has a lot of pains, but a normal job lacks pleasures. So,
Okay, so what was that actual gap that made you start your...
Maitri. The question that Maitri has is a little different. I'll try and phrase it differently. So the question she has is, did I have a choice, or like I said, entrepreneurship was thrust upon me, did I have a choice of not doing entrepreneurship? When I say that, yes, I didn't have a choice of doing what I wanted to do in a job. So from that perspective, I lacked a choice. Did I have other jobs on hand? I absolutely had a lot of jobs on hand. Because when you exit out of an entrepreneurship, when you exit out of a company, there are so many people who want to pick you up. Because the experience that you have got there, believe me, not even IPE can give you, no school can give you the experience that you get out of running a company for a while. Oh man, it is horrible in the sense, you go to market, pick up money for a lot of interest. On 28th, you still don't have money to pay your employees, so you're worried. Then you get to God, Bhagwan bacha de, 929, somehow some customer pays, you pay off. It's a chakravyu. So that experience is very valuable for a normal company. When somebody is an entrepreneur and he wants to run a company, see, my CTO that I've hired is an entrepreneur who failed in his venture. He ran a company for about 3 years. He failed, he sold his company, or he went bankrupt and things like that. I picked him up. Normally, I would love to pick up, and I gave him equity in the company to come and join me. It's not like, because I know an entrepreneur will not join for the money. Even if I offer him 5 lakhs a month or 10 lakhs a month, he will not join me, I know. Unless I tell him that you are having, after a certain period of time, equity in the company. So my CTO who has failed as an entrepreneur is my CTO. So the choice that I had was, the choice that I didn't have was to do something that I like to do in a normal job. So how did I end up with this idea of this thing is that I used to run, in App Labs, I had 2 teams to run. One is a marketing team with analyst relations, advertising, and all of those things, about 10 people, 10 senior people. And I had a team of about 40 people who were doing inside sales. So basically, they used to use emails, customized, personalized emails were sent to the world on a very targeted database, and then meetings were produced for the salespeople of App Labs. Right? So when I moved out, I had this feeling that companies like App Labs can afford a sales team, or an inside sales team of about 40 people. But that does not mean a smaller company does not need sales. And their US sales guys are paid huge salaries. They sit and do this cold calling and emailing only to find out appointments. So why not I outsource that from the US companies and do that for them so that their heavily paid sales guys do only sales. So that is the idea that I had, and that is the way this company has evolved. So if you ask me what was that idea that came in, it was not a product, it's not a technology. It was a need in the market that I saw can be filled by somebody like us from India because of the cost advantage we can provide, one, and because of the fact that we have great MBA guys with us, unlike the US people. And the US sales guys are paid like in excess of 200,000 US. The good sales guys get 200,000 US in a year, or at least 120,000 US. And any minute of theirs trying to set up an appointment is a waste of resources for a small company out there. And IBM and Oracle might not mind it. But companies that are 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, they don't want their sales guys to sit there in the morning and start fixing up appointments. They want them to do sales. So then comes in moving the needle and says, hey, we will give you appointments. Let your sales guy do the sales. So that's where moving the needle's value comes in. In fact, I have customers, moving the needle has customers that advertises in the US newspapers saying, we are willing to hire people who are junior but are good sales guys because we will give you appointments. So when you are in the sales job, what is it that you want to do? You want to get a face-to-face or a meeting with the person you want to sell stuff to, right? So if I'm able to give you that meeting, anybody can go and sell, or anybody with a basic skill of selling can sell. So that's what MDN does.
Thank you, Sanju. Thank you for sharing your experiences, comparing the thought of entrepreneurship with marriage, the importance of technology to scale up, and your experiences of building favor banks. So thank you, and also redefining the whole thing of being healthy. So thank you for all that. And I would request Professor Mishra to, as a token of appreciation and gratitude, to give a memento from our side, please.
I need your undivided, rapt attention towards this. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Confusing? Nobody said life is going to be fair. Life is a matter of choices, and every choice you make is what makes you. Ladies and gentlemen, the next session, the power of choice and decision making in one's career, is going to be held by Mr. Shrikant Kota. I request Dr. Pradna to kindly introduce our very esteemed and our very dignified speaker for the hour. Decision making, the most crucial as well as the most excruciating task, is what you're going to face for the rest of your life in your entire career. So ladies and gentlemen, gear up, for this session is going to be very, very useful for all of you.
Thank you, Pragya. I would introduce, yes, please come onto the dais, sir. Please welcome him with a round of applause. To tell about Mr. Shrikant Kota, he has 16 years of experience in banking and project management in multinational corporations. He is certified life coach, motivation speaker, and life skill trainer. He is the Vice President, Head of Strategic Implementation Group, Bank of New York Mellon, International Operations since September 2016. He is responsible for delivery of strategic programs in the bank aimed at delivery of operational efficiency, revenue enhancement, and implementation of strategic systems. He led a group of project managers across the country and provided them with necessary directions and support to help delivery of strategic objectives. His skill areas are operation management, project management, foreign trade management, and electronic payment. Let's welcome him to speak.
Our friend mentioned this session is predominantly going to be about choices. Yeah, and why choices? I've heard Ms. Namrata talking about choices, the choice of how do you want to use your 40 hours a week, yeah, and then we had Sanju Pillai talking about choices, the choice that he had to make in terms of becoming an entrepreneur. So, as people, do we acknowledge that choices actually make or break an individual? Do we all agree? Can I have a show of hands? Do we agree? Brilliant. So why are we all here? Can I have a couple of answers from this side? When I say why are we all here, why did we choose this? I think I have to be in the range. Why did you guys choose this institution? Can I have a couple of answers?
So actually, this is a very reputed institution, and it is a very old institution, like 50 years it has been. So it must be having a good, with companies, it must be having a good relation. So the placements will be good, and the teachers are very good. What I have heard from the seniors, like they are the best people which can help you at any situation. They can help you when you're low, they can help you when you're high.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. And
Brilliant.
And the place, the location, Hyderabad, it's also great. That's why.
Brilliant. Sir, wherever the professors are sitting, I mean, please remember this kid. She had a lot of good words for you. So I'm sure she's going to make very fine in her career. Yeah? Thank you. Can I have another answer, please? Why this institution?
It is a problem here, and it is a problem near to my home, and regarded as one of the best institutions for management skills. And
Brilliant.
besides that, in the past few years, it has guided more people to succeed in their lives and make their own decisions.
Make a career. Yeah.
Today, successful because of this institute.
So brilliant. Basically, it's all outcome oriented, isn't it? So someone gave us feedback that this is a great institution. And if we were to complete our post-graduation in management studies from this institution, we are going to be happy and successful. Is that what we are talking about in essence? Do we agree? Happiness and success? Agree? Can I have a yes instead of a show of hands? Yes again, please. Yes. Brilliant. Okay, happiness and success. So, and having listened to Ms. Namrata and Sanju, yeah, did you guys notice one thing? What was the most common topic that they were touching upon? Yeah? What do you think is one essential skill or quality which will take you closer to success and happiness? What according to you is that? Can I have one word answers please? From this side probably? Yeah, please. Sorry? Hard work, brilliant? It's not going to be easy. Hard work, all right? Be prepared to take risks. Confidence, attitude, passion. A few more. Another two. Principles. Flexibility. All right, brilliant. One more, just one more.
You
Sorry? Trusting your instinct.
hello,
Brilliant. All right, someone's got a mic.
Prakshi, and to the focus was that you've got to know what you want in life. The purpose. You have to have a purpose.
Give a big round of applause for her. That's the one. So purpose. Purpose is something which is going to drive us. Yeah? And what is our purpose here? Success and happiness. Yeah? So the most common thread, okay, in whatever the people have spoken here, is that you need to have a purpose. All right? And how do we choose our purpose? How do we choose our purpose? So I'll probably not go around the room now. In terms of how do we choose our purpose, what do we usually do? How are purposes chosen for you so far in your life? Yeah? And I know, I mean, most of the sessions that I do, the answers are usually common. So I will not go around. I'll try to summarize these. Usually the decisions are taken by your parents, or by your neighbors, or by your distant kaki, who believes that you getting into engineering or medicine, okay, is going to bring the family a great name. All right? Yeah, or someone who you meet at a wedding. Yeah, Mr. Sharmaji, who believes that you need to get into some sort of a course. So usually our purposes so far in life have been determined by others. Do you agree? There'll be few exceptions, but in majority of the cases, it usually is. Do we agree? Did you dream about getting into a particular school when you were born? You had no knowledge. Yeah, you were an infant. Did you dream about getting into a particular course in your junior college, in your +2? I think even those decisions were mostly influenced by your environmental factors, by what your parents tell you, by what the neighbors brainwash you with. All right? Now is the time. Yeah? Now is the time. You have now come to a juncture in your careers, yeah, where you will have to start taking decisions on your own. And that's where the power of choice comes into picture. And why now? You are more matured. You have now seen what life is, yeah, relatively. You have got better understanding of things. And from now on, you have no right to blame your parents or your neighbors for decisions that they have taken for you. Do we agree? Do you actually respect a person who is 23, 24 years of age and who keeps blaming his parents or neighbors for decisions that are taken? Not anymore. Which brings us to an important point here, the power of choice, and why we need to understand that. What sort of choices do you think, yeah, you need to start making from now on? You already made a choice to join this institution. You have absolutely brilliant reasons why you have done that. After this, what do you think are the most important milestones where you need to exercise the power of your choice? Can I have 4 answers, 2 from here, 2 from there? 2. what do you think are the most important milestones in your life ahead? Yeah? Where you will be asked to choose. You entered a college? Yeah, you've joined a management institution. What are the other key milestones where you will be expected to make a choice? Job, brilliant. Another one? Where's the hand? Partially raising there? Yeah.
I think the biggest milestone would be to be a job taker or a job giver.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. All right. Another one, probably one more from here. Job, whether to be in a job or be an entrepreneur, what do you think is another important milestone where you need to make a choice? Yeah. One from here. Not that I'm discriminating, is a little closer so I can hear properly. Yeah? I'll come to you later.
Whether you are ready to accept your mistakes.
Whether you are ready to accept your mistakes. Brilliant. That I believe is a little more behavioral. Yeah? Instead of that being a milestone, your ability to acknowledge your mistakes is a process which needs to continue throughout your life. So what we are discussing here is predominantly milestones. I'll go with this too. Yeah? I know. Which is quite surprising and ironic, given that I was married at an age of 23 years, which was kind of child marriage. Yeah? So I need the hardships, I understand the hardships and also the positives out of it. So someone mentioned job. Yeah? Before that, and this is basically experiential. This is not from any success literature, not from any lectures I've heard. This is purely based on observation. I believe before you decide upon what to choose in your life, yeah, you have to start defining what success and happiness mean to you. Please listen to me carefully. You have to define what success and happiness mean to you. Not what it means to your parents, not what it means to your children, not what it means to your neighbors, not what it means to millions of people around you. It is a personal feeling. Success and happiness are extremely personal. And what usually happens in the days we live in is, people usually come up with templates, yeah, a standard template, a standard structure in terms of what success and happiness mean. Yeah? I'll give you an example. Let's take a scenario. Let's take an example of a child who is living in some absolutely impoverished Western African nation, which is war-trodden, yeah, there is bombing everywhere. They have no clean water, no air, no electricity. So that's one child. There is another child, yeah, who is from an absolutely developed environment, let's say somewhere in the UK or the US, clean water, air, electricity, electronic gadgets, yeah, social security, everything. From what we have been brainwashed with, yeah, from what we have been made to understand from our childhood, who, according to the template, should be more happier? Is it the child in Africa or is it the child living in the US with all the facilities? Yeah, do not think too much, it's a simple answer. Who do you think should be more happier? The kid from the US? Yeah? The kid from the US is expected to be more happier. But is that the case? Why do we find, 15 and 16 years old holding a rifle and shooting at people indiscriminately? Yeah? Why do you find more cases of depression in Western societies, yeah, than, let's say, in Africa or Asia? Of course, there could be a counter argument that we have much more significant issues, so these sort of depression cases are not recorded. That could be one of the issues. But however, purely going by what's being recorded, yeah, purely going by what we observe in our day-to-day life, yeah, do we really find too many people depressed out here? I don't think so. Our challenges are much more in terms of sanitation, in terms of getting a job, in terms of being an entrepreneur, etc., etc. We don't find too many people depressed, which goes to say that the standard societal norms in terms of defining success and happiness probably are a little faulty. Do we agree? Or if you do not agree, nothing wrong with it, you will probably come to agree with me 10 years down the line. Yeah? And this is the entire purpose of my speech. When I was asked to speak here, I had a few choices in terms of what I need to speak about. I mean, because again, there is a template. Society and people expect me to talk about banking industry because I come from a bank. So I could have spoken about Brexit or demonetization or let's say GST, and I would have bored you all to death. Or I would have picked up a much more recent fad, could be robotics, cryptocurrency or big data, etc., etc. So I wanted to break that trend a little bit, hence this topic. So coming back to the question, do we all agree that the established template in terms of success and happiness probably are a little flawed? Do we agree? Can I have a yes or no? Can I have a yes or no? Can I have a yes or no? Lovely. So, so how do we do that? And I have a small analogy, okay? I have a small comparison to make. When I say success and happiness are extremely personal feelings that you need to define for yourself instead of depending on what others are telling you and what people are brainwashing you with. Yeah? Let's compare that with romantic love. And the reason why I was looking for an answer when it came to milestones and which never came out was wedding. Yeah? Absolutely. You're right. I think people like this are actually spoiling the entire fun. Yeah? You're right, sir. What sir is saying is probably did not occur to you because you're too much following Narendra Modi. Yeah? And the recent age politicians who seem to be thriving if they're unmarried. Yeah? I don't believe that because most of the breakthroughs in my life happened after I got married to this wonderful lady sitting here. So I can compare success and happiness, yeah, definition of success and happiness with romantic love. Yeah? And why do I do that? Like success, love is also an extremely personal feeling. How can we prove that? Did you ever come across a couple who you could bet your life on that they would be incompatible? Incompatible because, again, because of the social template. The guy is 6 foot tall, extremely handsome, well-read, yeah, well-educated, drawing a 6-figure salary, while the girl is from an average middle-class family, not too educated, but they seem to be getting along well. Did you ever come across such couples in your life? I'm sure you would have. Or on the contrary, you would have come across couple who you would have thought would be brilliantly compatible, okay, and they would make 50 or 60 years together in wedlock. But you would have probably seen their wedlock broken, yeah, after some period of time, and they're absolutely incompatible. Why does this happen? Because no one ever has managed to define what love is. Likewise, no one has ever managed to define what brings success and what success means. It is an absolutely personal feeling. Now is the moment for you to define what your success is going to be and what your happiness is going to be. We spoke about career choices. Yeah? You will finish your certification, your course in a couple of years. You have a choice to make, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to get into a job, yeah? You want to be a freelancer. And trust me, believe me, there are a lot of things that appear fancy, yeah? You'll be reading a lot of success literature, and there are a lot of books and material being published of late which speak a lot about startups. Nothing wrong with it. That is brilliant, yeah? That doesn't mean you need to copy what others are doing. What you need to question yourselves is, do you have it in you? Like Mr. Sanju said, are you ready to go through the hardships? Are you ready to take the beating, yeah, when you want to become an entrepreneur? Do you have the ability to get up when you fall? You have to question yourself, yeah, very honestly. Stand in front of a mirror and ask you these questions. And if the answer is an emphatic yes, go ahead. And usually, working for an organization, being in a job, is usually looked down upon in comparison to, let's say, a private investor or an entrepreneur. Yeah? Again, there is nothing wrong with it. The question is how you have defined your success and happiness. If you are a person who is risk averse, who does not want to take a lot of risk in their lives, yeah, and who is happy with a, let's say, a 10 to 6 or a 9 to 5 job, yeah, with a relatively slower learning growth curve. However, you are kind of immune to the happenings in the market. Then pick up a job. Again, nothing wrong with it. If you are that kind of a person who wants to be free, who doesn't really believe in going to someone and asking for a leave or some kind of a permission, want to be free, you want your thought process to be absolutely liberated, but then you don't want to be an entrepreneur because entrepreneurship also brings in a lot of additional activities which you may not want to do. For example, my long-term aspiration is to become a freelancer because I cannot be an entrepreneur. I'm not made for it. I'm not really happy managing people from an admin point of view. That really bores me to death. Yeah? Neither can I be in a job for long. So what makes me happy, and I'm sure it's going to make me happy, is being a freelancer. You got to make a decision now. Yeah? Because you've got 2 years, and based on what you select now, you've got 2 years of your life to spend on in terms of investing. You can invest these 2 years and become an entrepreneur, invest these 2 years and become an extremely obedient, good employee, or you can be a freelancer. So make a choice now, number one. Number two, important milestone is choose the domain or the function that you want to get into. Yeah? And I see hundreds of people that I have worked with, yeah, and I'm currently working with, who start cribbing and crying and cringing right from day 2. Yeah? They get into a job. They were the people who approached an organization for a job. They got into it, and right from day 1, they start cribbing about not landing in a proper domain. Do not ever do that. Be very clear. Is it operations that you want to do? What kind of a person are you? Yeah? Helping people, solving their day-to-day issues, yeah? And helping the business meet their targets. Does that interest you? Get into operations. Does recruitment interest you? Get into HR. So you got to have some sort of an idea in terms of which faculty or domain are you going to pick up right now. Another 2 important milestones. One, after you join an organization or you become an entrepreneur, you have to start making decisions every minute. So you have to exercise the power of choice every minute. And not necessarily all these decisions are going to have extremely complex multiple choice questions. More often than not, it's going to be a yes or no. And the problem that we have as a civilization, I'm not talking about as individuals, I'm not talking about a particular community. As a civilization, the problem that we have is we never are courageous to say a no. Learn to say no. As Sanju said in his earlier speech, if you have to fire a person, be assertive and fire that person because that is good for the organization and that is your dharma. That is the dharma that you need to live up to. So learn the art of saying no. After you join an organization, and I've been through that for 16 years, if you are giving away too much, and if you appear to be too soft, you will have hundreds of leeches who will try to live on you. You should develop those skills in terms of navigate that corporate spider web. You might run into a boss who is extremely arrogant, yeah, who believes in making you slog, yeah, who is not at all good with his human relations, but you don't have a choice once you enter an organization. You do not choose your neighbors, you cannot choose your boss. You have to live with that person. So the best thing is to learn the knack of negotiating. And how do you negotiate? Say no at the first instance. If there is anything inappropriate, and this is more applicable for our women friends, yeah? Once you get into workplace, you will face several challenges from your colleagues and your managers. Learn to say no right from day 1. And do not ever say yes where you have to say no. One good example, you have planned for some kind of an outing with your family. Your boss calls you in the last minute and says, you have to spend another 5 hours work. Your entire plan is going to go to dogs. And that's going to create a lot of pressure at your place. So be very stern. If you believe that work is not very important, it can be delegated, it can be done the next day, be upfront. Do not try to patronize your boss. Yeah? Do not be subservient, say no. Are you getting what I'm saying? Say no when you have to. Be assertive. And this is not a milestone, this is a journey. This is behavioral after you get into an organization. Even if you want to be an entrepreneur or a freelancer or an employee, this principle remains. Another important milestone is, once you start hitting those 38s and 40s, okay, it's a long way for you. How do you want to spend your middle-aged life? Start thinking about how do you want to retire. And the reason why I say this is, it's never too early. It is never too early. Believe me, 10 years will just pass by. And if you do not have that long-term objective in your mind, and whatever you do today do not contribute to that long-term objective, you're going to lose your focus. All right? I know I bored you enough. This is pretty close to lunch. And I will probably want to close the session with a few other words, another 60 seconds. So we mentioned success and happiness are your personal choices. When you pick up your last milestone, when you start talking about your retirement life, your happiness should become your success. You are no more running after success. Your happiness itself should become your success. If you manage to achieve that stage, okay, I think you would have done a lot of justice to your life. So, and Sanju mentioned about having a mentor or a coach, when you're actually moving ahead in your life. That is a brilliant suggestion. Try to find a mentor. It could be your parent, it could be one of your friends, it could be one of your future bosses. But I suggest the mentor should be someone who you do not have a blood relationship with. That person should be objective. Usually when you're related, you don't get that objectivity into picture. Try to find a mentor or a coach that is really going to help you. Even the most flourishing and prominent Indian cricket team really requires a coach, don't they? They do, because once Kumble walked out, you started losing to West Indies as well. Yeah? So you need a coach, find a mentor, find a coach, and open up in front of them, ask them questions, and let them help you in terms of finding your direction. All right? And throughout the journey over the next 15, 20 years, people will keep telling you that something is possible and something is not possible. Do not trust them, it's a lie. Everything is possible if you put your heart to it. Everything is possible. All you need is little amount of focus and direction, and as I said, hard work. I don't believe in the word hard work. There is nothing called as hard work. There is only work. The moment you start loving your work, there's nothing called as hard. So do not believe if someone tells you something is impossible. Everything is possible in this world. If it's not possible, that thought wouldn't have occurred to you. Yeah? So all the best in your future endeavors.